Good evening. I'm Dave Moreno with MCA Public Relations here at the St. Regis Hotel in San Francisco. It's Monday night, the week of SEMICON West, and here with me is Gus Richard, Principal and Senior Research Analyst with Piper Jaffray. Gus was a panelist on MCA's BrightSpots 450 millimeter panel, which just concluded. Good evening, Gus.
Good evening, Dave.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm happy to be here.
So we appreciated your input on our panel, which just ended a few moments ago, and I had a couple questions for our audience.
Sure.
Well, I guess my first question would be, with respect to Wall Street, should they care about the semiconductor industry's transition to 450 millimeter? And if they don't, should they?
Well, 450 millimeter, if it happens and when it happens, would be a very significant product cycle and a lot of demand, and there'd be a peak in capital spending when those fabs were built and equipped. So yes, they do care. However, Wall Street tends to be a little short-term focused. I don't think it's going to be happening in the next couple of years for sure. And so at this point, they're not really paying attention.
So what do you think the timing for the transition to 450 millimeter is?
Well, certainly not before 2015, because I don't think the tool set's going to be ready before then. And then real production, I think if you're lucky, 2020. And that would be an optimistic, given where the industry is vis-a-vis its development. The industry was in a similar position in about 92, and it took another 10 years. So end of the decade, probably about right.
Now, we know with an industry transition to 450 millimeter, it's not just the chip makers, but the equipment companies that need to be involved. And at least to date, a number of leading equipment companies have been a little hesitant about supporting 450 millimeter. What do you think needs to happen in the industry in order for more equipment companies to come on board in support of the transition?
Well, I think they financially need some help. It's very expensive development, and they need to see a clear ROI. They need to see a return on their investment. And there are likely other places where they can put their R&D dollars, and they only have so many they can spend, or the investors get cranky. So I think what they need to see is really a clearer demand for a larger set of customers, or somebody willing to help fund the R&D development.
Well, we hope that happens. Well, thank you very much for joining us this evening, Gus.
It was a pleasure.
Pleasure's ours.